Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Wendy Walsh. It is Wednesday night. It's 6 o'clock. It's my live stream. And what I like to do at the beginning of my live stream is always find out where people are watching from. So please make sure you just pop a comment in real quick and let me know where you're watching from. I have Instagram up here on my iPhone, hi, and down here on my StreamYard on my laptop. I've got, oh, there's Jonathan over there on YouTube. Oh, Jonathan's in Brooklyn. Interesting. I wonder where you were. Where are you guys watching from? Atlanta, hello. Orange County, nearby. I'm in Los Angeles, California. Missouri, more Californians. Melbourne, Australia, which must be tomorrow afternoon for you. New York, lots of New Yorkers. New York and LA. Okay, so you guys have some questions. I'm going to be putting your questions up in a few minutes. Hi, Orlando. How are you? Good to see you. Melbourne, nice to see you. London, it's late. Why aren't you in bed? Why aren't you asleep? Well, I'm glad you're here. Hello. Always let me know where you're watching from. I'm watching your comments here. Hi, Georgia. Hello. Bonsoir, Montreal. We're in Canada. I'm Canadian and American, for those who don't know. So if you're new to my live stream, I am Dr. Wendy Walsh. I have a PhD in clinical psychology. I'm a professor of psychology at California State University, Channel Islands. I'm a little bit obsessed with the science of love. I've had a radio show for the last 7 years here in Los Angeles, the Dr. Wendy Walsh Show, all about the science of love. I've written 3 books on relationships. And so although I'm not a clinician, I don't have a license, I don't practice psychotherapy, I have read a lot of research on the biological, psychological, and social pieces of love. So please tell me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Oh, Coquitlam, BC. I've been there before. Where else did I see Florida go by? I saw Mexico, hi, New Jersey. And down here, we got OC. Jonathan's just asking me an Instagram question. What do you do on Instagram to follow you? I need help. I think you just go to Instagram, the app, you download it, and you look for at Dr. Wendy Walsh, and you'll find me. Barrie, Ontario, how are you? Been there too. Hello, Philippines. I've never been there. So anyway, if you have relationship questions, let's get going. I'll sit and wait for you to write them in. I'm happy to. Hi, Oceanside, California. How are you? It's not my birthday. Who said it's my birthday? It was my birthday back in April. Not now. Hello from Panama. How are you? Tokyo too. Gosh, Instagram, you guys are everywhere. Okay, almost 6 months separated from my spouse of 13 years. He has not filed for divorce. Uh-oh, the question left. Oh, man. Where'd the rest of it go? Says he hasn't gotten around to it. I think I should stop holding on to hope. Who's in control? That's what I want to ask you. Are you like sitting around waiting for him to make a decision about your marriage and your relationship? What do you want? If you want the relationship to work, then the only thing for you to do is to ask him to enter couples therapy so you can work on reconciliation. If he says no, or he says later, or he says I'm not ready, then he's not. And then you need to go on and live your life. Sorry, but sitting around waiting for somebody else is the most painful thing, waiting for them to dictate how your life is going to be. I'm so sorry you're going through this pain, but don't sit around and wait for him. Birthday lifestyle means every day you wake up, it's your birthday. I don't know if I would like that. Somebody's asking me why her husband doesn't show any emotions when you're naked. I don't know that emotions are called for at that moment. And everybody's different in what turns them on, how they get turned on, how they express their feelings. To say that there's one way of being a human and expressing love or attraction is wrong. Any more questions about relationships? I'm trying to think some of the topics I talked about on my radio show this week. We were talking about what kinds of relationships or what kinds of people probably couldn't do an open relationship, and when you shouldn't open your relationship up, like if there's an affair, then you think you're going to heal it by just letting someone cheat. Another question Jonathan has, do I have a good radio show? What do I do on there? So I have a 3-hour radio show on Sundays from 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific time on KFI AM 640 Los Angeles. You can listen all around the world by downloading the iHeart Radio app and searching Dr. Wendy Walsh. They keep all the episodes up there, so you don't have to listen to it live at the time. You can listen to it after. Another question. Where is the best place to meet a man as a 56-year-old? You live in, where do you live? In LA. So here's the thing I want everyone to understand. Nowadays, it's all about the apps completely. You have to get over any stigma of any age. In fact, the most common age that's coming on to dating apps are the over 50 set. And so there's not one app that's better than another. So they're not like nightclubs where you go into one and they're your people, you go into another one, they're your people. Everyone's sort of on every app. And I want you to think of it as like a big giant database. It's not about the app. It's about the process of elimination. It's about the skill of not getting in love with hope and having these weird texting relationships that aren't even real. It's about getting on the phone. It's about meeting for a coffee. It's about going, no, that doesn't work for me. And it's a big, huge process of elimination. It's almost an endurance test. But you need to learn how to use them right. Randy, that's a very funny question. Is the opening line, I created the crop circles, a good one? It depends if she knows what that is. Why are these not moving around? Oh, that's so funny that they're not moving. Oh, this is an interesting. What do you think about having cyber sex in a long distance relationship? Do you think it may decrease his will to meet you personally? The fact that you said meet you personally implies that you haven't met. Like you met online and you're just having kind of a cyber relationship. That's not a good idea. And especially using cameras to do sex, because that stuff can all be video recorded and it could end up wherever. I'd be really careful about that. I think some committed, healthy, long-term couples can use technology to keep their connection, their physical connection alive when they travel, but it's not a way to build a relationship, that's for sure. It's an interesting question. Do you think it's okay to give someone another chance if they put their hands on you under the influence, but they don't remember? What if he has shown he's changed? Well, I guess the main thing is, can they talk about it, right? Can you bring it up? Can you say, hey, this thing happened and I feel kind of uncomfortable about it? And if he says, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, and I'm so sorry, and let me make it up to you, and then he acts contrite and he doesn't put his hand on you, and then fine. But you don't just let that slide under the water, under the bridge, and not talk about it. So you have a question, but you don't want to put it publicly. I do want to say this. I do this live stream for just a few minutes on Wednesday nights before I go over to my Patreon exclusive Zoom room. You are always welcome to join my Patreon and come into our Zoom rooms. You can also send me private messages there that I answer every single one. So you can do that as well. You just go to patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. I don't know why it's not scrolling anymore on Instagram. What did I do? Let's see. Oh, thank you. You liked my 2 strikes rule? Did that get posted on Instagram too? I know I put it on TikTok. After numerous failed relationships, how do you learn to trust again? How do I explain this? Each relationship where you get hurt, this person is often a convenient object, a modern day invention of something that happened early in life. And to get to the bottom of repeated, you attracting painful people, you putting up with painful people, you getting hurt by painful people, you really need to see a licensed therapist and deal with some unresolved trauma, because it's never about the relationship. You know what? I want to say it gently, because I myself have recovered from an anxious ambivalent attachment style. And I have to say, I don't want to say it's my fault, but my piece of it was that I also chose those people. They showed me their red flags early on, and my silence became permission. So what was it about me that cared more about not letting them go instead of my own health in many ways? This question is, let me put it up on the screen. How do I be honest that I'm not ready for marriage? I think if you live with any kind of secret, especially a big secret like that you're just not ready, your silence is leading them on. If they're talking about marriage and you're being quiet and then that's not fair either. That's not fair to them. You have to not worry about hurting people when you're honest and authentic. Sometimes you have to give people the gift of pain because that's about being real. So I would just say it. Moving up here to Instagram. Oh, your name's Wendy too. Hi. This is a question from somebody, Joe, who's lost your wife 5 years ago and how hard it is to get over. Complicated grief is a diagnosis, and it's grief that extends past 1 year. And I really suggest that you work on that with a therapist and find out why you can't move on with your life. I mean, I don't know your wife, but I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want you to be sad for this long. We don't want that to happen. Good resources to find out about attachment style. Well, probably the best book for lay people is called Attached, and it's written by a neuroscientist and a writer, and it's a very, very well-written book that explains the attachment styles and the whole neuroscience of love. And let's see, looking for more before I go over to my Patreon. Does the healing process ever end? With therapy, it seems like the goalpost has moved several times over the years. Hopefully you're working on different stuff. And I like to say that therapy doesn't make you happy. It makes you real and authentic and being comfortable sharing your authentic self with somebody. I have been in and out of therapy for 18 years. It is the best money I ever spend. When I'm talking to my therapist, it's like, what it reminds me of? I was thinking of this today, actually. So when I was young, I got dragged to church every Sunday. And although even when I was young, I didn't believe in a lot of the mumbo jumbo magic thinking or whatever. I've always been kind of scientific mind. I did like the quiet, the peace, the time of reflection, to think about your week, to think about what you might have done wrong, what you could have done better. And in some ways, I think of my weekly therapy as that. It's just a time for me to just be about me and just focus on, dealing with the feelings that came up during the week, whether it's shame because I said something that embarrassed me, because that happens plenty of times with me. I have a radio show, or feeling sadness about things. It gives me time to process it. But I do encourage you to stay into therapy. There's no time clock on this, right? People heal when they heal. Let's see what else we have here before I go over to patreon.com. This guy I was dating from New York will only read my messages but won't respond. Why would he still read them but not even respond? Curiosity. He's bored. But if he's not responding, he doesn't want a relationship. And the bigger question is, why would you hurt yourself by continuing to text somebody who's not responding? Because he's sending you a message with his behavior. And the behavior is, I'm sorry, we're not a good match, or I'm not into you, or I can't do this. So I would not, no, block him, get rid of him. You don't need to do that to yourself. I don't mean to laugh, but this is a question that I used to ask myself a lot. You say that you stayed in a 35-year relationship that's toxic. You even had your own money, but now you're dependent. So I'm not clear about that. Why did you stay? Well, that is an answer for you and your therapist. Our model for love that's inside our head is made up of 3 different relationships that we witness or are a part of in our childhood. The first is the relationship we had with our mother. That's why therapists always ask, so tell me about your mother. The second is the relationship we had with our father. And the third is the relationship that was modeled for us, the one that we witnessed between our mother and father. And it's the layering of those three relationships in our head that forms our model for love. So why do people stay when there's pain, when there's abuse? Because there is a piece of them that believes that that's what they deserve. And they may not even be aware of that piece. And so going to a therapist, working out some of those things can take you on the path to healing and making better choices. It certainly did for me, that's for sure. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm going to put your nice comment on there saying that he likes my radio show. All right, I'm going to answer one more question, and then I'm going over to Patreon. You have a few minutes. We go live at 6:30 in 15 minutes. You go to patreon.com. Oh, there's a phone call. Okay, did it cut it off? Patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. That's patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. I'll be there in about 15 minutes. Let's see what else we got. I'm trying to, it's not scrolling anymore. I can't actually see. There we go. Oh, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. That's so funny that it's just not scrolling like it used to. I don't get the Instagram thing. Volume? Oh, I'm sorry. Is my thing not plugged in? A problem with volume? I didn't know I got a mic on. Can a guy change thoughts on marriage and kids? Wait and see or leave. Never wait for a man to change. Never wait. Okay? Because when he finally does change, he's then going to find the woman he wants to have to be his wife and have kids with. No. He does not appreciate. You're not going to grow in value because you waited. He's only going to devalue you. I promise you on that one. Okay. That's just Wendy's wisdom. That's not even anything to do with psychology. That's me in life and what I've seen in life and people who waited, or they wait for years and then they get married and then they're divorced within a year because you don't value people who just keep sacrificing themselves. You really don't. Anyway, come on over to my Patreon. I'm there every Wednesday at 6:30. Go to patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh and listen to my radio show every Sunday on the iHeart Radio app, every Sunday from 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Dr. Wendy Walsh Show. Thanks for being with me. It's always my pleasure. Bye. Okay, first I end the broadcast